So today we're going to be taking a look at my point of view as I walk around Liverpool with my 35mm camera. So the camera I'm using for this video is the 35mm Olympus OM10. So this is an aperture priority camera, which means I get to choose what aperture I want to shoot at, and the Olympus will decide what shutter speed it's going to use to make sure I've got the correct exposure. Now, considering it was such a bright and sunny day on this particular day, most of these images were shot at either f11 or f16. Now, shooting at these kind of apertures meant I got quite a lot of leeway when it came to my focus, which really worked in my favor. Because this is a manual focus camera, you might not always nail the focus every time, especially if you're shooting at apertures like f2.8, which this lens has the ability to do. But because I was shooting at, say, f11, I had a lot more leeway with my depth of field. So on the day I recorded this video, it was the 21st of May 2023. So you might notice in a few of these images, there's going to be quite a lot of police officers and quite a lot of signs talking about the Eurovision. And that's because this particular year, Liverpool was holding the Eurovision. Now, I'm not really a street photographer at all. It's very, very rare I do this kind of thing. And it's also extremely rare that I shoot on film. So this was kind of a brand new experience for me, combining these two elements. With that being said though, I actually had quite a lot of fun shooting on film and doing street photography. One thing I noticed from doing street photography for the first time was how much confidence I actually lacked. Usually with street photography, you kind of have to not be embarrassed to get up in people's faces or get into certain situations and just photograph that particular moment. But I found myself sort of trying to keep back out of people's way and really just trying to remain as invisible as possible, which is actually really hard when you've got a GoPro strapped to your chest. But with that put aside, I really did want to just blend in with the crowd, I guess. And there was even quite a few opportunities that I missed out. So, for example, there were these two police officers at one stage who were stood up against this really old brick wall. I really wanted to go over there and just ask them if I could take their portrait. And I just unfortunately didn't have the confidence to do that. So that image just doesn't exist now. But hopefully, with doing more street photography, I can kind of build up that confidence over time. And on the topic of doing more street photography over time, this is actually something that I want to turn into a series. Now, I've got a few holidays that I'm going to be going on this year. And I thought it would be such an amazing opportunity to take one of those days and go around and do some street photography with it. This way I can kind of not just be limited to England with my street photography, and I can kind of take it all over the world and photograph, different kinds of people, different kinds of culture, different kinds of architecture. And it would give such a cool variety to each of the videos that I release to do with street photography, because it's going to be in a completely different country. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm going to create a playlist on my channel specifically for street photography around the world. So if you're interested in that, of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you'll know straight away as soon as I release that video. Other than that though, make sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you in the next one.